Welcome back to another episode of Chatting Cinema. I'm Gianni.
I'm Flynn.
And I'm Luke, and this is the third episode where we're wearing these shirts.
Yes. We're definitely not recording all these in the same day. No way.
No, I only have one shirt.
I only wear Polka Dot Man shirt every single day.
Yeah,
I've been wearing this for a year.
Giving love to DC. I got a Batman shirt on. That's good.
Yeah.
Love to DC.
So what are we talking about today, Gianni?
Today we are talking about our most anticipated fall releases. I feel like we've been down this road before, and they've all been either delayed, pushed back, never to be seen. Who knows?
Dangerous game we play with this, but
Yeah.
So
I'd like to start this episode off by saying Dune does not count because all three of us are ridiculously excited for Dune.
Okay.
And I mean, there's just too many movies coming out for all three of us to say Dune.
Yeah.
We're all excited for Dune. We're pumped. Give me more of that Timothée Chalamet, son of a bitch, Zendaya. I love it. We're excited.
My number one draft pick off the board.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because it would be all three of our number one draft picks probably. So yeah, we're just gonna clear that one because we'd all pick it. So
Yeah.
What else are we excited for?
Consensus number one, Dune. The
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey of fall releases. I'll start. I'll steal this one. Because it might be on Luke's list here, so we can talk about it. Last Night in Soho.
Stole it. He stole it.
Yeah.
He stole it.
Yeah. Edgar Wright, phenomenal cast, headlined by Thomas Mackenzie, who I love. I haven't seen in a ton. I saw her in Old recently, and I thought she did what she could.
Yes, that's very
but I
good way
think
of putting
she's
it.
phenomenal in Jojo Rabbit, and I'm super excited to see more of her. I love her. And Anya Taylor-Joy, who's breaking into the A-list of Hollywood right now, I would say. Just becoming more and more popular, more and more in demand as an actress. Phenomenal in Queen's Gambit as Beth Harmon. And yeah, Last in Soho, Edgar Wright, hasn't made a bad movie yet, hasn't made a bad feature. He's doing this horror movie about, what we think life should be and too deep and romanticizing the past and all this. It just looks really cerebral and ethereal. And I think that Edgar has the proper background in horror, even though I think that he's thought of as like an action comedy filmmaker primarily. He has horror chops. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is a horror comedy, and one of the best ones to ever exist at that. And he's got a short film called Don't that's inspired by horror movie trailers that is very worth your time. I think it's on YouTube. If you search it up, very worth your time, only a couple of minutes. But yeah, I think Edgar Wright has these chops necessary. I was already stoked about it when I hear his name and I hear the cast list, and then the trailer came out and it's so 70s horror and glitz and glamour, and I'm just fully on. I can't wait for this one. So Last Night in Soho will be my first pick here.
Man, you really stole that.
Yeah.
That I was so ready. I'm like so thrown off. I mean, well, I was gonna talk about this one as my second choice, but it'll be my first now, even though I am so pumped for it, is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes.
That one's actually right around the corner. I'm not nervous about that one not coming out. Everything in October, I'm nervous.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Shang-Chi's got so much positive buzz after the world premiere, and more people are seeing it. And honestly, like Simu Lee's passion about playing this character and bringing him to life. And like there was this one interview where the person conducting the interview was an Asian American interviewer, and she was saying she like got emotional, and she said, growing up, we did not have this, but thanks to you, kids like us have someone now. And like I got chills watching that interview because they just hugged it out in the middle of the interview. And there was a third interviewer who was just like, "This is adorable." I'm like, "Shut up! We don't need your commentary. We know it's adorable."
Yeah, we know.
I just think that also with being like inspired by so many influential kung fu action movies, I feel like we'll get some of the most refreshing action sequences in any Marvel movie. And like the stunt team like has done so many cool movies if you look into it. Like, and also the visual effects from the trailers I've seen look great. Like, I just think that this really has a chance of being such a standout Marvel movie. And ever since Endgame happened, that's all I've wanted is like, all right, we got the formula down. You told this massive story. Now let's get weird. Let's get creative. Let's get different. And I think Shang-Chi, just like the Marvel shows we've been getting, is going to help usher in that, because I loved Black Widow, but it felt like one of the Marvel movies of old. And it almost felt like it should have come out when it happened right after Civil War, and it would have been much better received.
Yeah, I think that's
as
fair.
opposed to now knowing Natasha's fate. But this movie, I really feel like, is Marvel's coming out party of like, hey, it wasn't just the Guardians that we're rolling the dice on with an unknown character. Like, this character has some traction now, people, because we've known about this movie for a couple of years. And really, I'm just excited to see it and just sit back and have fun with a new MCU movie.
Yeah.
I think to springboard off of that, and another movie that has the potential to be like a real underdog in that not a lot of people know a lot about it. Not a lot of people are necessarily looking forward to it outside of the three of us, maybe. But I think Eternals has a lot of potential to be really one of Marvel's best. At the time of this recording, the final trailer had just released for it. And I think that's interesting to release a final trailer in August, 3-4 months before a movie is actually due to come out, because that must mean that there's a lot in there that we're not supposed to see in any promotional material. And some really cool stuff's probably going to happen. And talking about amazing visual effects, great cinematography, I think it looks different in language from a lot of the MCU in the best possible way. And so much of that is in debt to Chloe Zhao, the Academy Award-winning director, first Academy Award-winning director and female director in the MCU.
How can you not be pumped for that? Like, that is so exciting.
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me not discount Kate Shortland. My apologies. Black Widow.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, first Academy Award winning. So
yeah.
Anyway, really excited for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to touch on that also in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about something that I didn't mention before we started recording this, because I think it's one of the most elusive movies. It's boggling my mind. I've been looking at it for like a year. I feel like I've been reading about it for a year, but no one else is talking about this. It's Taika Waititi's Next Goal Wins. I don't know if you guys know about this, but it's based on a documentary that came out in 2014. It's about America's Samoa national football team, and it's being pitched as like a sports comedy, but it stars Michael Fassbender. It's written and directed by Taika. It's due out in the fall, and I think the only reason we haven't seen anything for it yet is because it also stars Armie Hammer, and I don't think they know what to do. I don't think they know what to do.
Wow, that's really fascinating.
I feel like it has all the workings of like another Oscar opportunity for Taika and everybody, but he's in it, so
because I feel like the last time Taika was doing press, it was all the questions are about like Star Wars and stuff that I've seen, and that kind of seems like something he's now not shifted his full focus on, but something that he's working on. So that's really interesting. I know that I think that West Side Story would have had a completely different marketing campaign, if not for everything with Ansel Elgort too. So that's really fascinating. I've heard nothing about it. Like,
I forgot its existence. I remember being excited when they announced it. Like, crazy, it's Taika and Michael Fassbender. Like,
and Michael Fassbender hasn't really had a starring vehicle in a few years now. I would say since like Steve Jobs, that was really successful for him. Yeah. And I feel like this was going to be the next thing. And it's been in limbo.
Thank God he gets to work with Fincher soon.
Yeah. There you go. I don't know.
Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Yep. So we'll see what happens, but
that feels like one that is there's just going to be like an unceremonious deal to bring it to streaming, and that's going to be its fate. Like, if I had to say something like what I thought would happen with that right now, that's what I would think, because I haven't seen any promo material, no trailer, no articles about it.
Like what happened to A Rainy Day in New York.
That's the exact comp. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like,
it's crazy.
Which I don't think any of us has watched still.
Nope.
No, I don't watch new stuff from Woody Allen.
It's just the unfortunate thing is I think this movie has the potential to be really, really good, whereas like A Rainy Day in New York didn't. But oh man,
take that, Woody. All right, We'll see if anything comes out about that.
I mean, yeah,
That's
and also
my guess. Will be streaming.
this movie I'm kind of throwing in the Dune category too, because we're not convinced if it's a real movie or if the editing's even done on it. No Time to Die,
Oh yeah,
because we're supposed to get another
some
James
time to
Bond
die.
movie, like
all those
yeah,
trailers are fake.
I guess there is
Just
some time to die.
just
'Cause,
a little bit more time to die.
yeah,
Please.
that one feels like it's been pushed back the most because they're not decisive, so they push it back like a month, and then they have to
Yeah.
like act like a chicken without a head and push it back a year,
Right.
and then pull it forward because things are getting better, and then push it back because things are getting worse.
Please, unvaccinated folks, stop giving us more time to die.
Yes, it's so true. Like I was joking with my brother the other day. I'm like, I feel like a Bond movie where someone new was playing Bond is going to come out before No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Like we're going to get the next Bond in line before they're going to pull the Sean Connery and be like, hey, he can come back for another one later. But this one's actually already filmed and they just are not releasing it for some reason. But yeah, there is some time to die. That's what we learned.
That's, man. I obviously we're all super big MCU fans, so Shang-Chi and Eternals definitely would have been high up there for my pick number 2. Super excited to see what Chloe Zhao can bring to a Marvel movie. Like the pitch blew Kevin Feige away, so I don't know how people aren't more excited about it. Please, as much as I adore the MCU, please watch movies that aren't in the MCU. I'm begging you. If that's all you do, if it's a 3 new movies a year type of person, like expand your palette, watch some other stuff. And then maybe you won't be so mad at Marty Scorsese when he says things. And with Shang-Chi as well, Destin Daniel Cretton directing, brought up the other day when we were talking with each other, director of Short Term 12, and Just Mercy. And I think Short Term 12 is a modern masterpiece. I think it's a phenomenal film, which is definitely worth your time.
He directed Just Mercy?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I looked him up on Letterboxd.
Prolific, yeah.
And he's one of my 5-star directors. And I was like, what? So I click on it and I see Short Term 12 and Just Mercy. I'm like, makes sense.
Yes. Also,
which, honestly, I'm really hoping for Shang-Chi to follow suit, so he's still a 5-star director.
Yeah. Shot in the dark here. Don't think it makes sense logically, but I brought this up the other day when we were talking about how Destin Daniel directed Short Term 12 and Just Mercy.
Oh, he's
frequent collaborator with Brie Larson. I'm just saying, I don't think it's gonna happen, but don't be surprised if she shows up as a favor. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there.
He's calling his shot, people.
Pick number 2 for me. Pretty easy slam dunk. French Dispatch. Wes Anderson movie. Cast is ridiculous. Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet, son of a bitch.
I mean, the frequent West collaborators, Tilda and Adrian Brody, like everybody's there. Jeffrey Wright's this one, I believe. So, it's a Wes Anderson movie. Wes Anderson has this thing. You know what you're going to get. You're probably going to leave the theater satisfied. It's going to be weird and quirky, and the stuff that's shot in color is going to be pastel. The stuff that's black and white, it looks phenomenal too. I've been having a journey with black and white as I, kind of branch out and try to watch more classic stuff. And I'm just falling in love with black and white cinematography. Not too far in the past, I watched the Skywalker saga completely in black and white. And phenomenal way to watch that too, especially the original trilogy and The Last Jedi. Last Jedi plays really well in black and white, because of course it does. But yeah, super stoked. And the first season of Mandalorian, really, really awesome in black and white too, because it's has that Western serial aspect to it. So watch more black and white stuff. It looks really good. It looks better than you would expect as a modern film viewer.
My addition to that conversation is Mad Max Fury Road looks phenomenal in black and white. Like,
I need to watch the Logan black and white.
I was just gonna say, we mentioned Logan recently. Yeah.
I think my number 2 pick for the next movie I'm most excited for is The Last Duel.
Yes. Yeah. Great trailer.
Fantasy is back. We are
Green
back
Knight.
and swinging.
Dev Patel Summer, baby.
Doors. Yeah, it's Dev Patel Summer, but then it's Adam Driver Fall, baby.
Love it.
Full on. Give it to me.
And blonde Ben Affleck.
Yes, and blonde Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who Stillwater. Anyways,
Ah,
yeah, I saw that movie. It was okay. He played the typical emotionally shut off American dad. But The Last Duel just looks really fun. It gives me like vibes of just like all the great historical timepieces we've gotten, like really big feeling to it, but then also such character driven movies. Like it's so focused on these intense characters because throughout history, you don't remember all the little details. You remember the big figures. Like we don't remember
Yep.
everything that happened, but we remember Alexander the Great and his conquests and like things like that. And this is based off of a real story, which I'm excited to look into after I
Yep.
see the movie because I don't want to know what happens. But Adam Driver and Matt Damon like dueling and shit, I'm sold. That's all I
Yeah.
need. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm in.
feels like the return to Gladiator type
Yes.
film for
Yes.
Ridley Scott. So, and Affleck and Damon collaborating on the screenplay.
The homies.
I believe very cool. Very excited for that one too.
And that was one that I feel like we hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
And at one of our many showings of various movies that we see, we're like, wait, this is a movie?
Yeah.
This is dope.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until the trailer dropped online, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really good." So,
What do you got, Gianni, for your second pick?
oh man. So I think I kind of gave it with Next Goal Wins.
Mhm.
I correct me if I'm wrong. Is Top Gun still slated for November, or was it pushed again to
oh
summer?
man,
No,
great
I think
question.
it is.
It's still slated
Because
because
when I saw Snake Eyes, I got the trailer for it. And I feel like it would
okay.
be weird to play it
T-
if it wasn't
Top
coming out.
Gun on Fandango right now. Top Gun's release date is slated as November 19th,
Yeah,
2021.
that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah.
I really want that to come out still. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I considering that Mission Impossible is already slated to have that like what is it 30 to 90 days in theaters and then goes to Paramount Plus.
Right.
I
I believe
hope
that's
they
the case.
I hope they do the same thing with Top Gun and just keep it in November. I think we'll be at a place in the fall, hopefully, where like people can get to a theater and see it. I don't know. I want it.
I don't blame you, dude. That and Ghostbusters Afterlife, like give
Yeah,
me
yeah.
these sequels that are like not direct sequels, but like in the universe of, because movies are so fun because they create these characters and places that you love visiting and getting to visit with those characters and places again. Like so fun. And I mean, half the movies we said are connected to something else because that's just how movies are now. And that's fine. But let's just hope that this whole pandemic thing gets handled.
Yeah.
People get vaccinated. We don't
Yeah, we
have
gotta
to
get
wear masks,
vaccinated,
but if we do,
please.
we will. We touched on this in the previous episode with theaters. But hey, there's a ton of great movies coming out. So everybody get ready and subscribe to like Regal Unlimited or AMC A list.
If there's one last thing we should do before we wrap this up, I think we should do a quick rapid fire. Do you or do you not think No Way Home gets delayed?
Man. Oh God, my answer is going to be a push because I think it's entirely dependent on what Shang-Chi does.
Yeah.
I think that if it's moderately successful, uh, you know, and it has that Black Widow opening, but sustained numbers and not that super severe drop off week 2. And it should, I think, do better than Black Widow, if only because it doesn't have the Disney Plus premiere access.
Mhm.
I think that there's a chance that No Way Home comes out. But if Shang-Chi does box office like the Suicide Squad and like In the Heights, I think that it gets delayed for sure because it's already in December. So
Yeah.
it's super easy to move that to 2023. It's already almost basically
Hey,
2023.
2022, calm down. Don't push it.
2022, geez.
Do not manifest that.
I was
We
thinking
don't
about the
need that.
Batman getting pushed to 2023.
Don't say that. Don't even say those words. I think that December money slot has been taken up by Star Wars for 5 years. So I think Disney is pumped about putting a Marvel movie out in that like Christmas time slot. Because
Hmm.
I mean, look at how much money the 4 Star Wars movies that came out at that time made.
I
So I
mean,
think as of right now, I don't think they'll push it because I think it's a good release date. Granted, there's so many X factors that could happen that it could very easily get pushed, but I'm staying true. I'm hoping we see a gosh dang new Spider-Man movie this December.
I think given that we've seen some set leaks, I think it is going to be a Christmas movie anyway. So like I really am optimistic. I really hope it comes out.
Yeah.
But with that being said, given that we've had 3 official images released and not even like a 15-second, like a web shooting
Yeah.
teaser.
The only
What
thing
if
we
they
really
go with
got
a-
was that title reveal.
What if they go with a
Yeah.
bold new strategy of no trailer? Because who in their right mind isn't excited for a new Spider-Man movie?
That's
The amount
true.
of buzz this movie has gotten without releasing a single official video aside from words, like I don't know if there's been a movie that's been talked about more before it came out since like Force Awakens, maybe, like,
Yeah.
or maybe Endgame. But like this movie, if you can't go, I've muted Spider-Man on Twitter because I don't want to see people talk about it anymore. Like,
I want one trailer, at least one.
Me
Because
too.
it's not that I'm, I'm on the fence about seeing No Way Home. Like I'm gonna do one, but trailers are their own art, and
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I go back and rewatch the Infinity War and Endgame ones all the time. I think they're
Yeah.
brilliant trailers. Force Awakens to Last Jedi.
100%.
And I will say just one final thing on the Spider-Man thing. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes between Sony and Disney right now.
Yes.
Because Sony is technically the distributor of this film, correct? So like it it can't have that Disney Plus Premier Access thing. Like there's no shot that Sony would let it. So I am curious about what's happening with that, if that has impacted the marketing at all. But as the days go by where we don't have a trailer, it feels, I don't know, it feels kind of iffy. But I'm going to stay optimistic because I want to see the movie really bad.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that wraps up this sort of what we're looking forward to this fall. Hopefully, none of these movies get pushed again, and hopefully we
Fingers
can come back and
crossed.
say, "Hey, we saw all these movies and they were great."
Yeah.
Um,
Masterpieces.
But with that, we will catch you in the next one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.